Okay, Unit 1, Lecture 3, we talked about the southern colonies, we went into exploration a little bit. So the next colonial region we're going to talk about is the Middle Colonies. I'll put up a map in a minute, but first I want to put up a whiteboard to give you a list of the terms that you're going to need to know for this part, this lecture, all right? So the Middle Colonies, keep in mind the Middle Colonies are in the middle. They show aspects of both other regions and are going to be more diverse religiously and ethnically. Those settlers were mainly English-Dutch. New York was originally a Dutch colony. And Germans who settled the Middle Colonies for a combination of reasons, both economic opportunity and religious freedom. All right, so the Middle Colonies then are going to be Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Delaware. This region is called the colonial breadbasket because they grow not cash crops, but they have many farms that grow food crops, all right, and they grow a lot of livestock, okay? So the economy centers on farming, on shipbuilding, remember these, and trading, which lead to the development, or led to the development of commercial centers such as Philadelphia and New York, all right? The trading and the shipbuilding lead to these cities, the formation of cities. All right, one of the main colonies, or an important one to focus on, that we focus on, is Pennsylvania, all right, and it's founded by William Penn. Pennsylvania means Penn's Woodlands, all right, and he gets this as a proprietary colony. He owns it because the king had owed his father some money. He lost in cards or something, gambling debt. So Penn founds Pennsylvania as a haven, or a safe place, for Quakers, all right, a religious denomination. Quakers believed everyone has an inner light and there's no need for organized churches and ministers, okay? They're also pacifists. Remember, the pacifists do not believe in violence, which makes other colonists somewhat suspicious of them and is one reason they get along better with Native Americans than others. All right, now society in the Middle Colonies is going to be much more diverse, all right? They're home to multiple religious groups. So we have the Quakers in Pennsylvania, we have Huguenots, who are French Calvinists and Jews in New York, Presbyterians in New Jersey, and this religious diversity makes the Middle Colonies much more tolerant of other beliefs than other regions, okay? And they're also going to develop, because of the cities and the variety of occupations, we're going to see a much more flexible social structure, meaning there's more mobility. You can change your status in the Middle Colonies, a lot more opportunity. And they're going to develop a strong middle class of skilled artisans. An artisan is another word for a skilled craftsman. All right, they're going to also have many entrepreneurs who are business owners and small farmers. All right, now I'm going to move over to New England, okay, and talk about that for a bit. New England colonies are Plymouth, which is going to later be absorbed into Massachusetts. Plymouth is settled by Pilgrims, a group of Puritans who wanted to separate from the Anglican Church, the Church of England. All right, and they're on their way to Virginia, and they land in Plymouth at Plymouth Rock. Realize that they're far enough away to live in peace and under their own rules, so they stay there. Plymouth is founded, and the New England colonies, for religious freedom, where the South is economic opportunity, the middle is a combination. New England is religious freedom, but theirs, no one else's, okay, just religious freedom for themselves. Okay, they're very intolerant. As we all know, the Pilgrims came over on the Mayflower, all right, around 1620, and as they pull up to shore, William Bradford, a Pilgrim leader, calls a meeting of men on board the Mayflower, and they write the Mayflower Compact, which is an agreement by which they all agree to follow the laws established by the colony, laying out the groundwork for democracy in the Plymouth colony. Okay, so all the men gather on the Mayflower and come to this agreement. Okay, later, as more Puritans arrive and Plymouth will eventually be absorbed into Massachusetts, John Winthrop, a Puritan leader, attempts or strives to establish an example for the rest of the world. A city on the hill, he calls it. Remember that term, it comes back a bit. The Puritans then establish a covenant community, which is a blending of their religious beliefs and democracy, and the Mayflower Compact. Right? They're very intolerant of all other religious groups and allowed for no dissent. Okay, that's lecture Unit 1, Lecture 3A. I'm going to pick up in just a second.